What's going on, everybody? We're back. It's your friend Will. This is the Memory Labs, and we're picking up our 3-0 Grixis control deck run in best of one, which I think is still probably the best. We talked about this before when we were doing our green-black video series for best of one. And I think if you just want to earn out like card rewards that get upgraded and make some gold in the process, this is the most efficient way to do that. On the draw, this is tricky, but I think we can keep this. The double check land keep is always a little sketchy. With them mulliganing though, I think that makes us more likely to keep. We just want to draw a land in general. Not good. At the very least, we'll get to Thought Erasure them next turn. They're probably going to draw a card, yeah. This matchup I found is not too bad, but obviously our start here is pretty stymied. But them blowing their ops now I think is good for us. Alright. No, it's a question of Thought Erasure versus Syncopate, and I think we're just going to go for the Thought Erasure here. They have Enigma Drake with Dive Down and Double Nib Visit. Well, I guess we're going to take the card that they can play next turn. We want that land. They're just digging for, they're just going to try to get to 6 here. That's their plan. I don't think we are at risk of seeing that Arclight Phoenix anytime soon, based on their hand. I'm kind of tempted to syncopate that because of their hand in particular. I think we want them missing land drops, and I don't think we want them having access to like another spell. This is all a concession to the Niv Mizzets in their hand. So now if they want to flash this back, they need to discard a Niv Mizzet or a Dive Down. Looks like they're going to go for the Dive Down, which is good for us. Alright, let's just start clocking them. And we can use this to find Vraska's Contempts as well. So that line I think is pretty unconventional of double countering the radical ideas. And I think it's the type of play you can only make when you have seen their hand like that, which is one of the reasons I haven't cut Thought Erasure. It lets you come up with some interesting lines like that. You know, it may prove to be wrong. But we saw their plan, which was to get to those cards. Don't think we want either of these. I think we're just looking for some answers. Hostage Taker. Yeah, 6 land and Hostage Taker is pretty good. I had not even considered how good the 6 land or the Hostage Taker is against these Niv-Mizzet decks. No, they missed their land. It's a non-spell way of getting rid of it, which is sick for us. Alright, so 4-0. Let's go. The weakest matchup for this deck is probably Jeskai, which since we don't have access to our sideboard, and we're so heavily tilted towards beating creatures, it's obviously still a winnable matchup because of Nicol Bolas and because of the Eldest Reborn. But just, I mean, hands like this are like pretty tough to keep, knowing your opponent is on Jeskai. But also it just doesn't come up that much. And you know, anyone who I think is playing Jeskai in these queues is probably doing it with a really slanted build as well. So then it just comes down to, like, I don't know, they out to ferry you. Alright, so let's get our shock lands into play for free. I'm guessing this play means that they're on some kind of creature plan. So we're just going to go removal into card draw, into more removal, and then just find a win condition. Well, I can't remove that one. We're going to have to think about using one of these if they play reinforcements this turn. Otherwise, if we're just taking 4, we can draw. So we want to see a Soot here. Alright, so no Soot. So we're pretty much dead to our reinforcements here if they go land reinforcements. Or this is just we pretty much only drew land, so I'm going to diagnose that as the problem. Let's contempt this before they can get the trigger. It's all going to come down to whether or not we draw a Soot. Sinister Sabotage. It's actually helpful for this turn. If they draw reinforcements or something here, it does let us survive. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I guess we just take the 7. Since we're going to take a huge hit next turn, there's not really a difference between taking 7 and 5. We're just taking the damage and drawing here. We either find a Soot or we don't. Alright, so we're back in it. And we just want to make sure that we're going to have, yeah, Sinister Sabotage backup with this. That's pretty satisfying. Yep. We need to get something on the board. Absolutely. We can also flip this next turn. We have to be careful flipping it because we don't want to leave ourselves to like a top deck reinforcement death. Justice Strike. I think we do want to protect our Nicol Bolas. Ooh, Negate's good. Seven, so we can actually flip it in with Negate up. With Negate and cast down. I guess we're gonna do that. And we're just gonna plus. There's not really anything good to take out of their graveyard. Wow. That gets us for 3. Was not thinking about Tajik. No, come on, where's my Moment of Craving when I need it? Double Tajik. Well, luckily we have an answer. Alright, they give their Tajik first strike. It's fine. Play Eldest Reborn. We have Contempt and Negate. No point in attacking. We're not going to win that way at this point. I've never done this, so we're going to get to see the ultimate go off here. See what this animation looks like. Awesome. Alright, so we go back up to a comfy 3. And their bottom card was... I don't know. They're not even going to give us the satisfaction of knowing what they drew. Alright, so check off winning with Nicol Bolas Ultimate. Pretty good. 5-0. Let's keep going. That one was pretty close. I had to make the decision to just draw the cards and believe in the top deck, or the top of our deck, and it paid off. But probably we flipped the Nicol Bolas like a turn or two too early. And I think we put ourselves, those Tajiks, I didn't think about those. I was more concerned about heroic reinforcements. And I thought that the Negate and stuff would handle that. And the Tajik put us into a spot where, you know, we went down to 1. It's a bit of a nail biter. But luckily we were drawing a lot of cards to turn at that point. Alright, I like Ritual. I like Nicol Bolas. This card is just like awesome in best of 1 right now. It hasn't been amazing in this series, but a lot of people are just playing more budget decks, and it's just it just blows them out. Also, I think it's just one of those cards that people don't know about. Like, everyone knows about Settle the Wreckage and Cleansing Nova and the Deal 3, but it just seems like no one plays around Ritual. They're much more inclined just to play into it. Like they're just going to go like this, Chain Whirler. They're going to have some follow-up, and then we're just going to get to sweep it all up. Legion War Boss. So they've chipped us down to 13 here. And we're just going to start making 4/4 blockers and making them discard in the process. Now they're going to have to decide between burning my face or burning the dragon. Alright, well I suspect they don't have a ton in their hand, but we're going to go ahead and take a look. Because we might find like a cheeky Banefire. Or some such like ridiculous way for us to lose. Alright, so they're going to go Shock. Like Shock, Lightning Strike. No, Shock, Shock. We get to see their hand. No, Lightning Strike us. Is this a land? No, Wizard's Lightning. Negate. I think we do want that. Risk factor. Since we have the Negate coming up, I'll take the damage. So they're going to risk factor me here. I don't like either of those options. Ugh, I didn't realize that they discarded a risk factor to risk factor. It's kind of a good draw for them. We are going to have to give them cards now. Do we have to give them cards? Because we can gain 2. We have to give them cards on this one. Alright, trigger on the stack. I think I was supposed to use the Contempt there. Because now I have to Contempt my Nicol Bolas if I need to gain 2, which means that it's taking a turn off my lethal clock. They need to find exactly shock here. Alright, looks like they didn't get it. That was close. It would have been less close if I had used the Contempt and kept the Moment of Craving. We would have, like, I think, guaranteed had the lethal swing there. Alright, let's go for 7. Alright, this is good. We have our Watery Grave, Thought Erasure, checks all the boxes. I'm pretty excited for what tools this deck is going to get in the next set in the Rakdos Guild too. Whoa, okay, so they're on a bigger build here. Guess we'll just take the one that's coming down earlier. We want the land. So the name of the game is to get 5 spells in the graveyard so we can Beacon Bolt. Beacon Bolt these Lyras. That's going to help. I'm really liking this 3rd Insight because we're so often the control deck in these matchups that we need to be able to punish our opponent for like these do-nothing draws. This is pretty good too, and it helps us get potentially more stuff into the graveyard if we need. So here they're going to tap out for Lyra. So we have 2 spells in the graveyard. 3 spells in the graveyard. Five spells in the graveyard. What a bargain. Their jaw must drop there. Like, what the hell? The one Beacon Bolt does come into play against other big decks. Oh, they're just running it out. We're unlikely to need this ritual. I'm guessing this means they have a third. Or they didn't know how Jumpstart works. Yeah. Cool. Alright, 7-0. Pretty easy. A couple close games where we got low on life. Hey, Mulder with the Grand Warlord Rada. This is, I think, a card to look out for when the next set comes out, too. I could see this being potentially good at doing something. But yeah, so plus 500 and some cards and some fun matches. Have to flip Nicol Bolas and do all the fun stuff. So yeah, I mean, I'll do one more of these, I think, but just so we can see if we can get the double 7-0 run. But I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found the deck interesting, even though our opponents kind of scooped on the spot in some places. But that's kind of the appeal of Quick Constructed also, right? Like you want to, we did that 7-win run in under an hour, combined across the two videos. So like that's 500 gold in less than an hour, and some cards. There's a lot worse ways to spend your time value-wise, I think. As pathetic as that sounds, 500 gold, but you know, that's 0.5% towards the 100k gold that we're trying to grind here. We're slowly making our way up. So yeah, I think I recommend this archetype for best of one right now, which is good news to people who want maybe something a little bit more controlling than black-green. But let's do one more run to really prove the concept out. And yeah, so we'll start that one in the next video, and stay tuned for that.